We just got a glimpse of something fantastic, and yes, despite a huge, crushing 7-2 defeat, the glimpses of Juraj Slafkvosky, Lane Hutson, Ivan Demidov, the three young stars in this brutal game that honestly had its own little bit of controversy, was enough to keep our energy high, getting 2 wins in a very tough 3-game road trip, with Montreal heading home still up there near the top of the Atlantic Division. Yes, it was a brutal defeat, Jesse, and there's no getting around it. This sucked. But you know what? There were some silver linings in this game. And you know what? A lot of our guys did show up for spurts. Look, Dobeš, not his best game. Let's say that. Our defense, definitely not their best. But I feel like I'm not alone in saying that there were some breadcrumbs left here to follow a trail to a Montreal Canadiens team that eventually coalesces into one great team, especially once we have our injured guys back. I saw the glimpses tonight, even though it didn't come together as a whole.
There's Hutson shooting. There's that, like, I don't want to blame the ghosts of the Quebec Nordiques for this loss here tonight as some sort of revenge. I don't, right? We're not going to go there here today on Habs Digest. At the same time, it's like, we saw how, like, someone's getting a couple saves early, like how Monty was able to do for us yesterday. Like, Dobeš or someone's done that, where maybe the other team comes out hot, but if your goalie's able to make a couple saves, like the Habs did here tonight, it's like, they came out hot, but then you kind of get soft. That goalie can do that. That can often, obviously step the turn and really change the whole tide of the game here. Obviously, that was a brutal, maybe kind of like goal there where it should have been that goalie interference on Dobeš. Like, absolutely that should have been reversed, Josh. But, like, we had our opportunities in the second. Once it was 4-1 to, like, claw back in and get close to us, and then we were on that 3-on-1, and then Demidov just couldn't find the net there again on that one, and then obviously Florian breaking his stick, which just broke my heart. I love Florian here, right on that, like that breakaway, you would say.
Yeah.
So again, had those opportunities here, but obviously, as you know, with the Avalanche, that killer instinct kind of setting in. Once we weren't able to take advantage of some opportunities, obviously they kind of ran away with it in the third.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Colorado Avalanche, like, I think a lot of us already had this game pegged as a loss for Montreal. Look, Colorado had won 10 in a row prior to last night, where they lost in the shootout to Minnesota. Colorado has one regulation loss. And look, like you said, Montreal came out hot. The shots were like 11-3 at one point, but Colorado's first real good chance, it got put in the back of the net, and then a second goal. And even though Montreal was out chancing the Avs, when you get down to this team, they're not going to let you back in it. And you know what? If there is one of these many silver linings we're going to get into, the Avs are destroying a lot of teams. And I don't think this is like really the big thing that we want to take out of it. Oh, look, we're not alone in getting absolutely pummeled. Look, obviously that's not the greatest thing, but they beat the Sharks 6-0. And look, the Sharks, they have Askarov, who's been on fire. And I know they're a young team too, but they got destroyed. But even the Cup final, Edmonton Oilers, back-to-back Cup finals, got smoked 9-1, and I know they're struggling a bit this year too. But, Montreal is not alone there, and we did have some incredible glimpses, and I think we gotta talk about Juraj Slafkvosky. First and foremost, Slafzilla. Jesse, ever since he's been put on that second line, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like his decision-making has been quicker, his decision-making has been better, and he's taking more responsibility with the puck. And I said here, a nice silver lining is his confidence climb. Feels like his quick decision-making has gotten way better. The puck isn't on his stick long. He's making crisp plays, and we're starting to see the points come. And look, tonight he was right up there with Kaiden and Demidov for top of the team in stat card score in plus minus, and whatever the stat card score even is, game score, I guess. It's them, that second line, and then Lane Hutson followed by our first line. And this spinorama move here, what a move this was. That's a move from a first overall pick. Incredible play by Slafkovsky. I feel like his confidence is shooting up and up, Jesse, with having to take these young guys under his wing, and I love what I'm seeing from him. And it's something that I don't know if I didn't expect this to happen after he came off the first line, but I'm loving that I'm seeing it.
Again, and it could have went either of one ways. He really rose to the occasion here, which has been so big. And again, proving that he is that first overall guy. And like Josh, you're right to just kind of be like surprised when we see like that spinorama, or he's kind of taking the puck and he's kind of wheeling around the offensive zone and just seeming to carry the puck for what would seem like an eternity. It's like, is this kind of that same guy while still bringing the physicality? Like, that's still there as well. Again, that playmaking is just phenomenal right now. He's getting rewarded. It's continuing. And you have to feel like, is this part of maybe like a larger play for Martin St. Louis? Because again, Bolduc, he kind of fits that archetype of what works on that first line of still being able to, bring the physicality, has the shot where I think, as he grows over the course of his career, he's definitely going to be able to hang there. But again, there is a world where Martin St. Louis, and I don't want to say this is maybe part of the bigger plan, But again, maybe you demote kind of Slav to have him step and kind of into this larger role, only that when you reignite possibly that first line again, that Slav comes in with his confidence now knowing with Slav and Caufield, I can play this way. And the big question would be like when he's playing with Slafkovsky and Caufield, like not to defer and still, if he could keep still playing that same way and like Nick and Cole have a talk with him and say like, you know, Juraj, like it's okay for you to do that, to own the puck a little bit more. We're all going to be able to eat on this line here, I think would be phenomenal. So again, giving the Habs some options here, but I love that obviously we have that chemistry between Nick and Cole Caufield right now. And it's definitely growing between Demidov and Slafkovsky. Another really good option because we know Demidov needed another skilled player to play with. That's amazing, Josh. And that leads us to another positive here tonight, which is Ivan Demidov leading the league in points right now for NHL rookies, which is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Of course, he's playing so well. And we're kind of chatting pre-show where it's like, I don't want to equate Demidov exactly to McKinnon, right? But this was a nice insight for him to see, okay, how can I model my game? And nice to see that he wasn't kind of just standing pat in this one. And conversely, Hutson, where this was kind of a good look. They don't play against the Western Conference all the time with Makar to kind of get to play against these guys. And, you know, again, I like that Hutson was doing something. He wasn't just a spectator in this game. These key matchups against some of your, what you would consider some of your competition for best defenseman in the league. Yeah, I'll go there. I think Hudson's going to continue to grow into that. I think it's really important that Hutson shows out new facets of his game that he's been working on, and that's definitely another silver lining from tonight's game.
And they've been working on one-timers like Demidov and Hutson. They've been working on these in practice, and hey, it came to fruition today. They had the chances, and honestly, Ivan's had a couple chances over the last few games, taking these shots in the slot, whether a one-timer or a quick snapshot, and he's just barely missing the net, but it's looking amazing. It's a hard shot. It's come a long way from the beginning of the season, and you're so right that, like, these two guys, like, these are guys that need to really keep stepping up for the team, and Demidov's getting rewarded a bit with more ice time. Again, 14 minutes tonight, nothing crazy, but that was more than Josh Anderson. Demidov played more than Zach Bolduc tonight. He played more than our top line winger, and Montreal didn't have that much power play time, right? So it's like, it's pretty incredible to see how he's starting to take that leap and to be on top of rookie scoring when guys like Beck and Xhekaj out in Anaheim is playing like 17, 18 minutes a night. Of course, Schaefer is Schaefer, and he's still probably the leader for rookie of the year because he's doing what he's doing as a defenseman. Look, if we were all on the Lane Hutson hype train, I can understand why Islanders fans are on the Schaefer hype train. That's fair. But you're absolutely right that, like, that Slafkovsky idea, like, reigniting that confidence and playing with a purpose and carrying the puck through the ozone, something he did occasionally with the top line, but that's an interesting idea if he could get back there. Leave your thoughts. Maybe Slav could do that back on the first line. Oh, that's an interesting thought, but I want to end this off, too. You mentioned Caufield a few times. This is just one other thing we have to talk about here before the end of this video. He's now on a 7-game point streak, 2 goals, 6 assists for 8 points within that streak. He has been, I mean, you could argue that he's been our most consistent offensive player. I think it probably still is Suzuki, because Suzuki's just one of those guys that gets points even if you don't even notice it. But Caufield continuing to stay on that above or point per game pace, I think still above or at least close to it. And he has been unreal, just creating opportunities so often this year. And you know, we started off hot with the goal scoring. Of course, he's up to 14, but the playmaking is quickly following up behind Jesse. Those assists are racking up, and that time he spent developing his playmaking and defensive game over the last few years is really working well. And honestly, you can put anyone on his wing, and he's not just going to score off great opportunities, he's going to set some up too.
Just such a fantastic, exciting player to watch. And he's really like the foundation, along with Nick Suzuki, of this team right now, where you can basically bank on either one of them at least getting a goal or two per game. And it really comes down to the rest of the team. If they can really, we can complement that in any type of way with Demidov, Juraj Slafkvosky further down the lineup. That's obviously where we really need to have success. But it's just nice to knowing, like, this is what we have to build off of. We just got a little bit of that depth scoring, play some good defense, prevent those goals against. And we're really golden from there. And again, that's just one of many things that Cole Caufield's offering this team right now.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this team, again, bounces back. And look, it sucks to see Dobeš give up so many goals. Got to think now it's going to be Monty in the next start, even though this one's hard to pin on Dobeš. A lot of those Colorado chances were like, I don't care who you are, you're not stopping it. And I know that's been sort of an excuse or at least a way to write off some of these goals in the past. Some of them he could have saved, but tough game, tough team. You bounce back. We got another set of back-to-backs coming up. 2 more sets, actually, Jesse. Our next set's of 4 games. Yeah. It's a back-to-back, I think Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Friday or Saturday. Correct me if I'm wrong, you or the comments down below. Going to be a tough stretch, but hey, we got 3 of those 4 at home, and the other one's in Toronto. Not too much travel. Get some rest. Head back to Montreal. Recoup, regroup. come out strong. Leave your thoughts down below. Some positivity for the boys. That'll do it for this episode. Listen, there's some silver linings, and we hope you're as hyped about them as we are. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.